Yeah, I got another Italian switchblade here. This is this guy right here. This is a Leverletto. It's built DeShivs 7.5 inch. It's basically, well, 7 3/4 inch. The blade on it is, see it right there, 3 1/4 inches. Brazilian horn, spear point. Now I like getting the ones with a serrated edge. And now some people go, "What are you serrated edge?" You know, that's one thing well, it's legal, right? That's the way I look at it. And one thing I like about these is, you know, this is the positive action of these. See that? What I like about these is you can't accidentally fire the blade like with this here. You know, this is typical type of Italian switchblade. You got the safety, and then it opens up with the button. And then you use the bolster to close it. Now you can see this is also serrated edge. This is a Frank B. I don't have any problems with this one. Actually, this is an everyday carry. This is not a collector. You can see down here they call this, they probably call it a collector. You know, they're probably more than likely, but I actually use these knives. This one is actually on my boot all the time down here, right here. Goes right in there, just like that. Okay. And well, the reason I like, and I always got to make sure the safety's on it, because if it's in your boot, if you press the handle, you know, it could pop. So, I mean, you press the button, it can go, you know, go off. But the reason I like the serrated edge, you say, for instance, here you got some trailer wire, right? You want to splice some wire. You get that wire right in there, and it works great for stripping the wire. You do one side and the other side, and the insulation comes right off. The other thing is, a lot of things are tough to cut with just a straight blade. And this one, you could see, and very similar, actually. Very similar, just a little shorter. That Leverletto is just a little shorter, but it's got a lot of serrations on it. You know, the difference is, it's right up in here. The blade, the business end of the blade is the same thing. That's cool, because that's really the same thing. It's a little bit more compact. It's Brazilian horn on this one. This is a plastic. It's a fake briarwood. It still looks good. But I found, like, if you're trying to cut like these zip ties, if you've got a few of these on here, cable ties, whatever you want to call them, right? I found that they're kind of tough to cut. You know, and with just the regular blade, but with the serrated edge, they go right through butter. I probably gave some demonstration before on another video, you know, especially with these big heavy duty ones, and you're there cutting them and cutting them and cutting them. I don't care if you got like a big old K-bar or something. The serrated edge goes through it like butter, and if you're just cutting it with the blade, it seems to really have a hard time cutting through plastic. Now, even rope, especially some of the ropes, serrated edge will go through it a lot better. Now, I've been using this thing. You can see there's a little wear on the bottom down there. You know, I don't care, man. It's my knife, man. And that's what's going to happen with this guy too. But I like the Leverletto better, this design better, because it's a more positive, quicker lockup. Of course, my finger is slippery. Actually, you don't even need to push this forward again like that, but it's a more positive lockup, and just it's the same way to close it, you know, with the same button. So, you know, it fires like really super solid. You could tell the difference. It fires more, and it's not so much, I guess, that to me it's safer. This is safer, because you could accidentally slide this down and then hit the button. I mean, it's not like really that dangerous, but when this is up like this, you're not gonna accidentally, you know, flip it down and do that to fire it. You know, that's the difference. And to me, this is the best. And you know, you don't really need I got the one Sicilian switchblade that's pretty damn long. I forgot what it is. It's like 12 inches overall. I kind of bought it for, it's a kitchen knife basically, but this is really about all you need in blade length. Unfortunately, a lot of states, not my state, actually most of the southern states, got no problem with switchblades. They might have a problem with, like in Georgia, I think if the blade length is over 5 inches, you could still carry it with a weapons permit. But these are well under 5 inches. These are actually under 4 inches, so you'd have no problem carrying it. Actually, in Florida, as long as it's open carry, no problem, as long as you don't conceal it. South Carolina, no problem. Tennessee's no problem. You get up in pretty much everywhere else, man, you start getting problems with these. And really, it's just a big bunch of Hollywood hype that demonize these type of blades. And when you're looking at the history of even when you know, the switchblades were really used in practical purposes back in the 1920s, this was like, maybe it wouldn't be exactly this particular knife, but what it was for fishermen, you know, who had to have your hand on the net, or maybe had to cut the net free, or they only had one hand available. That's one reason I like this too, because a lot of times I have one hand available. You can see I wore the button out a little bit. See right there? You know, this thing gets used. It's an everyday knife. Not abused, used. But a lot of times I only have one hand available, and this one's always on my boot. So it's handy. But I think these are even more handy, because this lock, it's a more positive opening action. Sometimes, since this is on my boot and I do stuff and there's dirt flying around, if there's some dirt that gets in here, this doesn't open up, you know, if it gets dirty. This one, I got another Leverletto, and I forgot what brand it is. It's an Italian make. This is a true Italian make. It's not DeShivs, it's some other one. But this one, it's got more power when it opens up. I don't know, it's got more spring or something. It's a very simple mechanism, but when you have this flipped up and this thing is closed, you know, actually it's a little tight right now, it's brand new. When you have it closed like this thing is not going to open up on you. Like this, you might, if you accidentally slide that down, it's not a big deal, but I like these. Are a little bit better, and they're not as popular. They're not as popular. This is about all you need, man. It's a great everyday carry knife. It's a great looking knife, and these things, they're pretty strong. I mean, I don't abuse the crap out of them. I just use them for cutting. I don't use them as a pry tool, okay? My pry tool, I usually use this guy. It's like a $4 knife. It says Rebel on it. And I had to put a couple new Confederate stickers on it because the other Confederate stuff wore off, and I clear coated it. But I usually use this as my abuse the crap out of knife. But a lot of times I need something like that because this guy is not that pointy. Sometimes you need that extra point to do something, or it's got, you know, sometimes I use it for other. Sometimes I use it as a screwdriver, man. I tell you the truth, I did with that. You know, the freaking switchblade. I'm not supposed to, but I did. Anyway, this sucker needs to be tightened up a little bit, I noticed. Anyway, maybe I should put a wrench on there and tighten that up a little bit. But I'm probably going to upload this one on both channels because it's a practical thing. I would not buy one of these for a collector. I'm not a collector. I use these damn things. I rotate the knives though. And this one's been one that I carry all the time. All the time. It might go to that one. Because, like I said, I use this serrated edge quite a bit. Of course, you got some wind kicking up here. Not much. And you really need... Unfortunately, most blades they sell don't have a serrated edge in the switchblades. So this was kind of hard to find. That's what it's called. AKC DeShivs 7.5 inch Leverletto Brazilian wood automatic knife, flat serrated. It's almost 8 inches overall length, 3 1/4 blade. So, made in Italy. And I have never had any problems with these ones made in Italy. The pins don't come loose. This was a $59 knife. This one right here. So I haven't had any problems with these. This one's $95, so they don't have to be $200 or $300. They work great. So Italians make some good stuff, man. You'd be surprised. They make some good stuff.